duties, and I was in the engineering department. And it was my job to sign off on flight-worthy parts for the FAA on airplanes that you guys were flying on, and I was smoking crack off Myrtle Avenue every day and doing that job. It all came to a head, a crashing head at this particular job when they were passing around the little inter-office envelope, and they were asking for donations. They were doing a fundraiser, kind of like we're doing here tonight. And I started coming into the building because guess what? I think it's my third chapter. It's called From the Frying Pan to the Fire. And that's when I started smoking crack cocaine. So I was coming into the building. First I was coming in, guys, I was making about $70,000 and I didn't have a penny to show for it. I couldn't even buy food. So I was coming into the building that weekend to steal food because I was just that hungry. And then I had a wise idea that, people keep money in their desk. So this is a company of about 400 or 500 people. I started going into their desk and stealing their money out of it. And needless to say, I had a 24-hour electronic badge to get in there, and they tracked me down and the whole 9 yards, and you know what happened after that. After that, my life really took a dive. I became homeless. I had a child who was about 2 years old at the time. This is one of my many mug shots right here. You're looking at a guy that has been to county lockup 27 times. 27 times. I'm going to tell you about that's a number y'all need to remember, okay? All right, I'm just giving you a hint. And so I started going in and out of jail. I was living on the streets in Jacksonville, and my entire existence was just to wake up. I would walk the streets of Jacksonville, do some shoplifting, boosting, or whatever you want to call it, and I would even look for empty liquor bottles because that's just how far gone I was. So I was in my addiction from the 90s to January 31st, 2006. Y'all remember that one, okay? So I got trespassed at my mom's house over on 24th Street, and my mom was done with it. It was then I went to jail that day, and prayerfully none of you guys have ever witnessed that, been to jail or experienced that. But that morning, the judge was, as we call it, real sweet. He was letting everybody go. He was letting everybody go. There was a guy in there got caught with a pistol and a prostitution ring and all that, and they let him go. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll be smoking by 2 o'clock. I'll be smoking by 2 o'clock. Just so happened when my name was called, my brother was in the rear of the courtroom, and the judge said, are you here to speak on his behalf? My brother said, no, just the opposite. And my brother wanted them to lock me up and throw away the key. I was shackled, and I started to cry, and I wept, and I thought it was my time. I told the judge, I says, people that are addicted to drugs, it's a misnomer that we want to be. I'm caught up in the clutches, and I just don't know how to break it. My brother told him, he's a talker, Your Honor, don't go for it. So the judge cleared everybody, he let us go last. I still remember that scene. It was just the clerk of the court ladies, my brother, and the judge gave me an opportunity. He said, I see something in you, I'm going to give you an opportunity. Now at that point, folks, I don't know if I was still kind of playing the game, but I hated jail and I wanted out. And he let me out, and I went into inpatient treatment, and I went to the Salvation Army down on Beach Boulevard. I had been there several times before. As a matter of fact, I had done the rehab roller coaster, and it was probably about my 12th stint, in between 4 or 5 suicide attempts as well. I stole my last beer on January 31st, 2006, from the food line right across from the Walmart now, I think it's Rose, and I walked down and I checked myself in. That was on January 31st, of course. On 2007, on March 7th of that same year, I gave my life to the Lord. I don't have my Bible with me, but my Bible, I got it from the Salvation Army, and it's earmarked with that date. And I said, I've tried, only smoking on the weekends. I've tried only smoking on odd number days. Who's this I hear about God? I remember when I was a kid in these young guys' age, worshiping at our church, but I had gotten so far away from him, I didn't know. So I gave my life to Christ. And instead of wallowing in my pity, I wrote the judge a letter. Because my motto now, everybody, is the only thing you gotta change is everything. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. So I wrote a letter to the judge, and guess what, young man? Guess what he did? He wrote me back. So the judge and I became pen pals while I was in rehab. And I wanted to get it right. And even if you don't know about sports, you know this term I'm about to use. I wanted to be the Michael Jordan of recovery. So I did everything that was suggested, and I did a little bit more. And I stayed, it was a 9-month program, but I was scared to leave, so I stayed like a year and 3 months. Because the feeling that I was getting now was just extraordinary. I'd like to go on to say, and I'll kind of close with some of these things, I now own my own 2 sober living homes. I've written 2 books on addiction. I oversee the education committee for the Northeast Florida Opioid and Heroin Task Force. In 2003, y'all, I was Marchman Acted. Anybody know what that is? The Marchman Act is the equivalent of the Baker Act for addicts. That means, and this is one of the titles of my chapter, I was just slap crazy. And my family Marchman Acted. So I was forced into treatment. I now sit on the board of directors for that same treatment facility. I was voted best black author of 2018 last year. And you know what I realized now, Saints? It's got nothing to do with me. It's all about God. It's all about God. So, as I tell my story is meant for inspiration for whatever you're going through. Because guess what? I found out we all are going through something. And the Lord died on the cross, and we just celebrated Easter last week at the resurrection. And it was for all of our sins. And He paid that debt over 2,000 years ago. So with that being said, I just want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity. If you want to hear the full unabridged, the book is over there. Thank you for that. And I have 2 books that we want to give away. So, and it's just going to be a trivia question, okay? And you answer, you get a book, all right? So, how many times did I go to jail? 27, right there. This is my second book. It's called The Absence of Serenity. This book is predicated for the loved ones of addicted people. And it attempts at my best to explain what's going on in an addict's mind, why we don't come to that 16-year-old's birthday party, why we get paid on Friday and you don't have a penny on Saturday, why you're lying and manipulating. It's a bird's eye view of what's going on in an addict's mind, and it's straight out of some crack houses right around up in this area. Okay, so when is my sobriety day? That gentleman right there. He all up in my business. He all up in my business. Once again, thank y'all again, and have a blessed night.
That story needs to be broadcast. Thank you so much. And are you ready for some comedy? Absolutely. We can celebrate together now and certainly patronize Mr. Preston. His book is in the back over in the far corner. And after the program tonight, you're welcome to go over there. The ladies will also have some paraphernalia as well. So we'll get more into that in just a moment. But I'm ready to bring the ladies out. They are ready. And our first comedian tonight, she is from Jacksonville, Florida. And she is going to bless you in her own kind of way. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for Mother Hattie Mae. And the seasoned people that I see in here, what was your first pocketbook? That's all I'm saying. So I told him, I said, you need to see my license and registration? And he said, yes. I said, okay. It's in my left pocket. Go ahead and get it. Needless to say, I got out of that ticket. Thank you. So that's why I'm here. Thank you, Jesus. Listen, this is a beautiful, beautiful church, ain't it? Yes, Lord. I like it. I go visit friends, they want me to come to their church, and I do. And so, you got to know the word for yourself. Amen. I was sitting up there listening to the pastor. You got the good sir. I was listening to the pastor, and so he was like, he's preaching Jesus. And I was like, all right, this is the word right here. And so he started saying, he said, I got to practice what I preach. And I said, yeah, you got to do that. He says, oh, Lord, because Jesus was in that secret garden and asking God for some things. And I said, okay. And then he said, Jesus, I can't get enough of your love. So what did it for me? He said, Jesus, you're my first, my last, Y'all need to give us some royalties. Because y'all think y'all came up with these dances. Y'all ain't come up with these dances. So I want y'all to help me with this. What is this? What's that? I don't know. What is it? That is not no dab. You ever been on the dance floor, you been talking and you weren't too sure you were sure? And you had to. And that rock. What is this? Who? See, you ain't never got no beat. That is not the middle rock. That's your mama tearing up your calf. They got to tear up. You gotta fix your calf somewhere. Sit down. Y'all ain't come up with this stuff. What is this? I know who? The running man. That is not no running man. You ever had to go to the bathroom and the line was up there? You see these kids up there doing up? I wish y'all would. And it's one more, and I'm telling y'all, see y'all know what I'm talking about. See these seasoned folks want their money. It was something that they did and they like that. I don't know what is that? Something they